We're opposing the test weight increase because there is no reason for the increase in the standard for test weight as a result of any failing of the wheat from a quality perspective. We actually asked for very specific information to justify why the change should occur, and they haven't provided that information. So we will always support a change in receival standards when it is shown that that change in receival standards is of benefit to the grains industry, of benefit to the growers and of benefit to the customers and end users. In the case of this test weight change, there has been no benefit shown to anybody at all, right through the whole chain. So there's no benefit to growers because they'll in fact be paid less for good quality wheat. There's no benefit to the flour millers because there's no additional flour yield produced when milling wheat with a higher test weight, and we've shown that with our own data. And there's no benefit to the food manufacturers and the end consumers from this higher test weight. The only benefit actually will be with the traders who will manage to buy good quality wheat at a lower price, and of course the growers are the ones who are taking the lower price for it. Certainly this has been one of the most galvanising issues that we have seen in the industry for quite some time. Growers see this as an outright affront on their revenue. So rightly so, they're concerned that their revenue has been reduced due to a change in receival standards. Let's say if you're typically a prime hard grower in northern New South Wales, if you achieve a test weight of 75, and that's not uncommon for some of our prime hard varieties, and the new test weight is 76, then you would be downgraded to at least Australian Utility Hard 2 or AUH2, and that would be about, depending on prices of course, but could be $20 to $30 per tonne loss in revenue. However, if your test weight is lower than 71, then you'd certainly drop down to general purpose, and it could be as much as $50 per tonne. One of the things that I think will happen, growers will stop growing varieties where they identify risks for test weight, and as a result there'll be certain varieties that we will no longer offer our markets. And this is one of the downfalls I think that the trade haven't identified in terms of increasing the test weight standard. So from the grower's point of view, they will look for varieties where they can be more certain of high test weight, and as a result there'll be some varieties that will just drop right out of favour. For some growers it might even mean that if you're in an area which is prone to low test weight, they may not grow wheat at all. However, I think that most growers will be so concerned about this change that they're just going to oppose it. They'll be talking to the bulk handlers where they deliver their grain. They'll be saying that these standards are voluntary. In Western Australia, farmers there are delivering at 74, so why can't that be the case right around the country? What CBH have said, they've guaranteed they will outturn to 76, and that's what the traders are asking for. They said they want a guarantee that they can actually have a minimum test weight of 76 to go onto the boat. CBH have said they will do that, but they will still receive the wheat at 74. And I'd like to point out that Western Australia is the state where in fact test weight issues potentially have the biggest impact. So that's the state where growers really will struggle more, or there'll be more loads that will be rejected based on this test weight change. But if CBH is happy to manage that, then there's no reason why all the other bulk handlers can't do the same. Look, as a group, oppose the change to the standard. The standard is voluntary. The bulk handlers haven't been the ones who have been really pushing for this change. It's been the other traders who don't store their own grain. So I think that when the growers have their silo meetings, to really ensure that they communicate effectively with their silo committees and with the bulk handlers that they don't support this change in test weight, and they want to be able to deliver at 74 as they have always done, and indeed as the growers in Western Australia will be doing. The response basically has been to say, well, our customers want, or our contracts say, minimum of 76 or a minimum of 78, and that's fine. In fact, that's always been there. That's always been the case. We've said, well, look, you're asking for something that's actually of a higher quality, something that's a little bit more difficult for growers to produce. There's more risk in it for them. So really there should be more value there. But they haven't demonstrated there is any more value because the market's not prepared to pay any more for it. The flour millers aren't prepared to pay any more for it. So it's really a way that growers are going to lose money, and that money will end up in the traders' hands. So really from the traders' perspective, a lot of their arguments have had no evidence and no justification apart from a wish, a desire.